such ridiculous indictment can be taxed by the Taxation Bureau (NTB)? On one hand, it says it is illegal income from fraud. On the other, it says it is illegal income from cram school. That's insane. The unlawful income would be confiscated, then lawful income could not be unlawful. The indictment is filed with the so-called fraudulent tax evasion, which is illegal. Then it calls it fraudulent, qigong religious fraud, and then fraudulent indictment. Isn't this inexplicable? Is it legal tuition income or illegal fraud? This is self-contradictory. Regarding this illegal indictment, this case with the income type unclear, shouldn't the NTU wait until the criminal court confirms before you bill tax? In the end, the tax bills were issued according to the untrue contents of the indictment. 6 years of tax bills were issued at once. From the establishment of Tai Ji Men in 1966 to now, there were no tax problem except for the period between 1991 and 1997, when Ho Quan Jenny legally indicted. Is this logical? This is an unjust case derived from the illegal tax case. This is a tax case that never should have existed. The tax bill is so ridiculous and unreasonable that even when the criminal case is solved for 10 years and 7 months, why hasn't our tax authority solved the tax case for 25 years, from 1997 to now? If the people of Taiwan can tolerate this kind of unwarranted tax bill in Taiwan's society, this means we allow tax authorities to treat every citizen with this kind of illegal actions. Tai Ji Men has insisted for 25 years, not that the persecution it has suffered must be vindicated, but that it is insisting on truth and justice. Even today, it is insisting on pursuing taxpayers' human rights, that no one in Taiwan should be treated this way by the government, not just Tai Ji Men. The tax authorities have already admitted their own mistakes, and zeroed the tax bills for FY 1991 and FY 1993 to FY 1996, but only for FY 1992 have they hidden evidence, forged documents, hidden correspondence checklist and favorable evidence, and deceived the administrative court to make the illegal decision. The judges of the administrative court even asked the central NTB to calculate like the other years. If 1992 is the same, they should withdraw the execution. It's so clear. A letter was issued to the central NTB, as well as the Administrative Enforcement Agency, but they're performance-oriented. And what is this? Greed. So we, the people of Taiwan, should not allow this unjust case of Tai Ji Men to continue to exist. We should come together to vindicate, to pursue justice and righteousness for Taiwan. The government's unlawful administrative execution, unlawful administrative auction, and unlawful administrative tax bill swallow people's property, which should be returned to the people so that Taiwan can have real justice, righteousness, and real taxpayers' human rights.
The Tai Ji Men taxation case was a clear example of injustice and falsehood. After an extended period, in the end, the land belonging to the Tai Ji Men was auctioned off by the Administrative Enforcement Agency. However, it was not auctioned off to the general public but to the state itself. To be clear, the performance bonus through the auction was divided and distributed. This is unreasonable. We have to continue to protest at Katagalan Boulevard. We will continue to voice out so that our president can hear about these wrongdoings. We have to ensure our president acknowledges these wrongdoings, these sufferings of the people, and the many experts and scholars who are supporting Tai Ji Men, and all the people who are suffering as a result of tax injustice. In the last 25 years, one might agree that Tai Ji Men could have negotiated with the NTB to pay a small amount of tax. But Dr. Hong insisted on justice and righteousness with a clear distinction between right and wrong. For 25 years, he has led his dizi to fight tirelessly against such tyranny. The Tai Ji Men case happened in 1996. It is the year Taiwan transitioned to full-fledged democracy, from dictatorship with its first direct vote presidential election. Unfortunately, it was also the beginning of our disastrous tax case. Legacies of the authoritarian regimes have a lasting impact on Taiwan's culture and constitution even to this day. So we are very grateful to Bitter Winter magazine from Italy for speaking righteously about the Tai Ji Men tax case in Taiwan. Their discussion on the related legal principles, in both English and Italian, bring this case in Taiwan to the attention of our international friends, helping them to understand this case, bringing out the problem with democracy, human rights, and rule of law in Taiwan. There are many other cases besides the Tai Ji Men case that are the result of the 1996 crackdown, cases involving persecution of new religions and subsequent tax issues. They have not been resolved to this day. The DPP is now the majority party in Congress. Why is there no progress in these taxation cases? Instead, they are complacent that the government's tax revenue has been rising steadily in recent years. It might seem like a great governance achievement, but it is not. If taxation is constantly depriving the people of their property, it would be a great shame. It is a government of robbers and thieves. It is not the democratic government that protects human rights and rule of law. Therefore, we hope that we can all work together with the support from the international community and help Taiwan along with its democratization progress and redress the Tai Ji Men case. The charges must be revoked or cancelled when applied the wrong law and regulation. The dispositions are invalid from the beginning. I stated the same point last year. The court ruling is also the same. But there has been no response for the past year. So I assume my statement tonight will not be properly treated too. Using non-recognizable income that is fake and consists of randomly made-up numbers violates tax treatment. On the basis of economics theories, accounting principles, income tax laws and business tax laws. Extrajudicial disposition is in fact invalid. Based on Section 3 to 7 of Article 111 of the Administrative Procedure Act, the tax disposition should be voided. These two invalid dispositions even bothered related tax and legal personnel for so long. It is obvious that the judge did not read the Administrative Procedure Law, and the Ministry of Justice even refused to revoke the invalid tax disposition, which overpowered the right to redress among 5 ministries and laws. The Administrative Enforcement Agency also illegally implemented confiscation and became the culprit for delaying the progress of Taiwan's democracy and rule of law for 25 years. There are no heroes in governing a country, and a country should be governed by the laws. If the Tai Ji Men case is legally treated by the National Taxation Bureau's agents, it will not result in falsified cram school income of 3.2 billion NTD, leading to more similar tax persecutions later on, and creating an image of corrupt and cruel officials. Citizens across the country cannot allow this kind of persecution that only exists in fake democracy to continue. Politicians who help people eradicate fraud, correct mistakes, redress senseless tax persecution are the ones who leave their names in history. In addition, permanent civil servants should know that loyalty to the leader in the authoritarian period no longer exists. In the democratic era, how can Tai Ji Men's property, which was illegally confiscated by the government, using authoritarian means, not be returned as soon as possible?
I have taken on several cases which are almost similar. In these cases, the state insisted you owed taxes. You are taxed on income that you never received. I didn't make that money at all. I didn't earn it, but the state would quote certain laws that we do not comprehend and issued the tax penalty. How ridiculous! This kind of absurdity happens every day. I felt disheartened this year. It is not easy being a tax attorney. I want to be a family lawyer. As a family lawyer, when there is a high-profile case, we have the opportunity to be invited on political talk shows. We just have to make a few comments, and we are appreciated and receive a lot of applause. But tax cases are hard. We have to fight the National Taxation Bureau. We have to fight the administrative court. Going up against the administrative court, we all know, is a losing battle. 9 out of 10 cases will be dismissed by the court citing no probable cause. I often want to advise these tax victims to borrow money to pay off the taxes. But I can't say these words because of what we were taught in school. What do we pursue in the law? It's right and wrong. It's justice. When we are trained to uphold justice, how can we accept an injustice tax bill? How do we convince ourselves? How can we convince our clients to accept an unjust tax bill? I believe that the progression of the Tai Ji Men case is indicative of the status of Taiwan's legal tax reform. I was often asked, why does Tai Ji Men have to publicize their case? Why do they go around handing out flyers? Why can't they just pay their taxes? Every time they ask me these questions, I will say, I suggest you take their flyers and take a good look at what's going on before you pass judgment. I'm glad I kept calling for it. More and more people are saying, oh. Attorney Chen, I ran into the tax volunteers again at a certain intersection. I took their flyers and read them. I'm shocked. How could this happen in our country? I answered, yes, and it keeps happening. Do you think that Taiji Men is the only tax victim? No, it is not. In every corner of Taiwan, there are tax victims who are bullied by the state and are at a loss as to what to do. So the tax volunteers serve as a beacon of light in guiding their future direction. A month ago, one of our hospital directors came to share with me. He said that he also encounters a wrongful case, a grievance. Now, he has been sentenced and it's confirmed. Yet he is not convinced and is still applying for a reconsideration, a retrial. Just now I reported this to Professor Chen Zilong, and I called him again. I told him I am here on Katagalan Boulevard, participating in an event called Wake Up Taiwanese, Recuse Human Rights Plus. And I have witnessed several tax victims to share their stories here. I believe that our hearts are united, and by doing so, we hope that our country will be better, and that our government officials will truly become the public servants of all the people in our country. I think that 25 years suffering, we are still on the way going forward. I believe we are not just doing this for ourselves, but we have seen people's sufferings, and we hope that they will be relieved of their suffering. Hope that we can all keep going, and I'm positive that we will succeed. We must be righteous, compassionate, humble, and truthful. I just noticed your bag with the word truth on it. We are on the hunt for the truth of universal value, human dignity, peace, reason, non-violence, and love are manifestations of this truth. John Jarvin discussed the right to resist. When the government's behavior has become intolerable to the people, if you do not stand up and speak up, you are the weak, and you may even be on the side of the perpetrator. Please keep 4 keywords in mind: fairness, justice, peace, and holiness. Positive energy is extremely beneficial. Negative emotions are unimportant, simply ignore them. The homework we should do is to learn how to exude positive energy. What we seek is value and faith, also known as confidence, hope, and love. What exactly is confidence? Confidence is when you believe in the intangible but see the visible result. I can attest that it will be rectified. What you believe and see is what you call confidence. The unnoticed outcome is visible. What exactly is love? Empathy. Think in a different place, from the perspective of the other person. What exactly is hope? When there is nothing, when it is dark, you can see the dawn and never give up hope. So here we are, we have worth and faith, we have confidence, hope, and love. Finally, I'd like to state that Taiwan requires justice in order to maintain the country's stability. This is the goal of our collaborative efforts. Thank you very much.
I think we are now in a democratic era. But on December 19, 1996, the Tai Ji Men injustice case actually happened. It is unbelievable. I am willing to stand up and support you. I admire you all for standing up here today in the cold wind and caring about the tax reform. I would like to call you all tax reform heroes from the bottom of my heart and salute you. Just now a group of young students were dancing, and they were asking for abolishing the bonus system. Abolishing the bonus system. I suddenly thought of an incident that is personally related to me. My younger brother, with a bachelor degree of accounting, Soochow University in Taiwan, suddenly applied for a transfer from the National Taxation Bureau of Taipei to a small township office in the countryside 8 years ago. At that time, I asked him the reason for his decision, but he did not want to tell me. Today I finally realize that, because my brother is a Buddhist and vegetarian with conscience, he did not want to receive illegal bonus, so he left his last high-paying job and preferred to work as an unimportant staff in the countryside. We hope that these unconscionable people in the National Taxation Bureau of the Central Area can learn from my brother that their conscience can be awakened and that, They will return, as soon as possible, the justice on December 19 incident, which Tai Ji Men deserve.